right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the South Star Classroom Podcast, episode 206 today. We are flying solo today, myself and co-host here, Dr. Charles Cole, Omar, and
Jubilee are playing hooky.
Jubilee, yeah, are away on, doing out in the real world.
Hooky.
They're playing hooky. That's right. But we're here. And so we're going to get into our topic here. Good evening, Mr. Conrad. Good to see you, or afternoon, wherever you're at. Yeah, big earthquake in the Philippines just now. It's crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, big one.
I didn't know that. Conrad lives out this way. Joliet is not. That's where I had to go get fitted for my from my Invisalign. So yeah, he's out this way.
All right. But before we launch in, let's do a quick check-in. I know we happen to be on opposing sides of the current Major League Baseball wild card series with the Chicago Cubs and the San Diego Padres, and we just lost 3-1. So how are you doing?
Well, yeah, so that means we won 3-1. So I'm really happy. But I did not know it was 1-0, and I had to start doing some stuff and turned it off. But man, I'm doing better after hearing that news. That's great. I would say, but last week, man, I was sick. I got, it happens to me about once a year or maybe sometimes twice. I went down, man, and then we had like some bad storms out here not that long ago. So my roof, and my genius, I changed the roof color and the gutters colors, but now there are other. So I paid for all of that, but I didn't. I was just telling my boy David just now. I was like, I didn't know roofs cost $24,000 to redo. I did not know this. I didn't know this was the thing to that level. Now I'm just trying to get somebody to paint some parts of it. I was thinking about doing my whole house, but I don't know. But it's a lot, bro. It's a lot. But I'm blessed to even be able to have the conversation. So there you go. Home ownership 101.
Exactly, the joys of it and the trials and tribulations. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I missed you guys last week. How was last week's show?
I was so sick. I don't even remember it, bro. I know we did it.
God.
I was here. I think it was on. Free speech. It was free speech. It was, bro. It's like as soon as the show was over, my voice was just gone. It was just
yeah.
I'm like, oh, we did a show. I was like, man, maybe I skipped it, but it was good. We talked about free speech and like really, I thought that show was really informational because even within the conversation, it's like we have to actually define what the Constitution says about free speech. And what I'm learning and the reason why the show is important, similar to this show today, actually, when we get into your topic, which I'm grateful for, we have people like there are schools and people that don't understand what it is either, and they are teaching kids about it wrong, right? Like, so when the government is threatening you for things that you say and do, that's free. A private company canceling you or getting you out of there, it's whack. It ain't okay, but it's not necessarily constitutional free speech. But when the president's top guy over the whatever is like the FCC is like, it'll sure be a shame if they just were taken off the air we didn't recertify them to like be on these airways. That's different. And that's still questionable, like, because real free speech that they're trying to prevent is death, jailing, and things like that because of what you said. So it was a good talk.
Awesome.
I know I just relitigated the whole joint.
Yeah, no, it's good. I missed it. Before we jump into our topic, I do want to talk briefly about, there's so much going on in the world right now in our country, and I want to briefly see. I'm sure you've heard about this. The Des Moines Public School Superintendent, Ian Roberts, that is currently in ICE custody. Apparently, it's looking like he may have not been honest about like his citizenship status and some other things, and he's locked up right now and is likely to get deported. So, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because
Wow, I thought that's what the show was going to be at first, but
Yeah, he spent some time at Aspire in California. Did you ever meet this guy?
I don't know if I met him, and I think he's also, I think Jube knows him. They're in the same cohort, and you know, I know it's a lot of bullshit happening, but I also didn't want to just instantly jump on either. I wanted to like, oh, well, what's going on? And then I read a little bit more about some things. But listen, I believe in redemption, and even if all that other stuff happened, and he's doing a great job now, like but yeah, you have to inform me though. Once I found out we weren't doing that for the show, I didn't go deeper into it. But I've been seeing a lot of reactions from either side of this thing, and I don't know if I trust either side on it, so I have to go look at it myself. Hey, let me move you over so you're not in the chat. I can there you go.
Okay, there you go.
You're
good.
Definitely.
A crazy story.
Well, yeah, for our audience, because we kind of doing insider baseball right now. Just update, like what was it that happened? You know, where?
Yeah, so there is the superintendent of instruction for the Des Moines public school system, which is a large school system, was arrested by ICE, and he's currently in ICE custody. He's from, I guess, Guyana, or not quite sure, but it's just an example of the recent. It's also, I read that the initial order to have him deported was issued during the previous administration.
Okay.
So it's from like last year, but they took action on it now apparently. So
so the Democratic.
I think you're right. You have to wait and see. Like, let's see exactly what's going on here. Yeah. And so, I mean, just that's all that I know. I mean, a lot of people are like trying to put a spin on it either way, but it's an education story and it's a pretty big deal. I don't know. I mean, it's got to send some chills through the community for students and staff there, especially ones, that maybe be undocumented, I don't know. We're just like feeling the pressure of ICE and the administration. But
Yeah, and the things that he was accused of doing, was it like it was like some like, let's see, he what was it? It was they caught him with a loaded handgun. I have one of those on me now, but it's legal. $3,000 in cash, a fixed blade hunting knife, when arrested. So
I think what happened was he what triggered his deportation order was like he got into some kind of he was accused of a crime or something like that. They picked up something on his record, flagged him, and then everything kind of played out after that. So
30,000 students, 5,000 employees. That's not a small.
Man.
It's not tiny. Wow, man. I mean, was he doing a good job in his current role? I haven't gotten
there, man. Haven't gotten there. But he's got connections to like Harvard, the grad school there. So I think a lot of people in our networks, I mean, obviously Jubilee knows him.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have a lot of different mutual connections. So anyways, I mean, not the topic of today's show, but I wanted to kind of put it out there because it's out there. His face is out there for sure, man.
And they're using
his mugshot. I'm like, can you use his like LinkedIn picture, not his mugshot?
I will say the article that I'm looking at right now, he looks good on the picture. Like he looks really good. Got his glasses. You know what I'm saying? It looks like homie might have changed his life. I don't know. Like I said, I'm at this point though where I'm trying not to be reactionary, understanding where the news came from, because I'm like, and like Jube knows him, so I'm like sensitive to that. Like I'm sensitive to the Aspire piece. He seems like a good guy, but again, I don't know the things that are happening, and I think that it's probably somewhere in the middle. I think that the people that know him and he's probably up and up, and maybe got in some trouble, but whatever, is doing what he can. And I mean, look, I can speak on my own family and my own friends. I don't want to pull your family and friends into it, but I got it's people I love that got records and have done things. But if you meet them today, you have no idea, So I don't know. I'm just trying not to be reactionary to these things because it's such a volatile time, and it feels like if it's a left thing, it's going to be very, very highly on this administration is trying to get this cat. If you're a right person, it's like, look at these immigrants. Like, it's just so much emotion that I'm just asking, what are the facts? what's about to happen? What's the due process look like?
Mhm.
Because it don't sound like they're trying to put him in jail. It sounds like they want to deport him. If he gets deported, do you know if they're deporting him to be in jail there, or just you just gotta
probably
go?
Probably just deporting him. Yeah.
Yeah, just like you gotta go. So I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, but I do appreciate you bringing that up, and I want to give it the respect it deserves because again, Jude knows him. You're familiar with it, like so. Yeah, I just it's so much shit happening O'Day where it was just like, all right, I don't need another crazy. Are we covering it? We're not covering it. Okay,
not today. All right,
let me go read.
We're going to cover
right now.
We are going to cover, and part of this is out of self-interest. I just, I hear, and I kind of wanted to do a little bit of not a deep dive, but let's like unpack a little bit what's happening in this. The mayor of New York City is such an important position, political position. If you think about
the country,
for the world too. I mean, if you think about the people that, I don't know if this is going to be the case for the current mayor, but who seem to have had a rough time, but actually De Blasio too. Sorry about that. But if you go back and think of like Bloomberg, Giuliani, love him or hate him. I mean,
I feel like Bloomberg been getting a lot of love as of late. I feel like a lot of New Yorkers, Democrat and Republican, have been like, we missed that Bloomberg guy. I've been hearing that a lot from.
Yeah.
Like you hear that on Fox and CNN and MSNBC. Like, where's he at?
Yeah. He was like a decent person. So now we have this race that's coming up, this election in November. And it's looking like, with the current mayor has like dropped his campaign to be reelected.
Yeah.
So it's looking like right now, and we'll get into some of the stats, but I hope I don't mess his name up. Zohran Mamdani.
Yep.
Mamdani. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just call him Mamdani for the show.
Yep.
Is the leading candidate right now. And he is running on this campaign of like this affordability agenda, which I think speaks to like so many Americans right now, myself included. He's running on a campaign of like free transportation, free buses, free universal child care from infancy, and a citywide freeze on rent, right? And so he's framing his politics not as a battle of tenants versus homeowners, but as a collective fight against Wall Street speculators, landlords, and corporate interests. I'll put out a little bit more information and then we can talk. His base is deeply rooted in immigrant, Muslim, and working class communities who see his platform as a direct response to unaffordable housing, which is not just a New York thing, it's across the country, failing transit, and unequal schools. And we'll touch on the schools part, which is interesting. He's been labeled as a communist, right? But he's not a communist. I mean, we're going to get into the difference between like what a democratic socialist is versus what a communist does. His politics are democratic socialist, right? Not like revolutionary, not calling for the revolution. If you look across Europe, democratic socialist parties are common in every single European country. Like it's kind of like, they're like one of the bigger parties. He's pushing to expand public goods through taxes on the wealthy while preserving democracy and markets. Very different from historical communism, which seeks to abolish private property. He's not talking about that. And he's also not talking about authoritarian one-party systems, which is also kind of a communist thing. So that's what's happening right now. He is, the party that he's representing is called the Democratic Socialists of America. It was formed back in 1982, but it has like deeper roots that go back to the early 1900s. But officially, the party grew out of what was called the New American Movement, less of a political party, more of a membership organization that endorses candidates within the Democratic Party. So the DSA grew rapidly after Bernie Sanders came out, with New York City becoming one of its strongest hubs. helped to elect people like AOC, right, and other members of her team. So, not a Democrat, not a Republican, not an independent, but a Democratic socialist, right? Which I think scares a lot of people, right? Especially when you think of like New York City is not just an international hub of fashion, of culture, of of thought with the universities there, but of like commerce, right? It's like capitalism, like ground zero. And now you you have a democratic socialist that's running for mayor and looks like may be successful in that campaign.
Yeah, looks like
So
he's gonna win.
yeah, it looks like he's going to win, which is crazy,
Yeah.
So I wanted to see, like, what have you heard about him? Like, what are your initial thoughts on this situation? Because it's like it's essentially a version, a far left version. When they talk about the far left, this is what they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I think he possesses something that's a little different than most far left candidates. He's charismatic. He is
Oh my God,
he has a charisma,
Yeah.
and he doesn't come off as like super crazy or super, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to shit on like super far left, but I'm weary of super far right people and super far left people. And I think
Mhm.
I think a lot of people are excited about him, and I think a lot of people are afraid of him and afraid of what the policies might be once he comes in. Now, full disclosure, neither one of us lives in New York, but like you said, it's one of the most important cities in the world. It's a global city, and
Yep.
and I've learned this being in the outskirts of Chicago, in the greater Chicago land area. It's almost just as important to me and Dalton of who the Chicago mayor is as it is for people living in Chicago. It's like 1A, 1B. Like those decisions really do impact us over here. I've heard a lot, man, and I've been confused, and I've just tried to like give everything a fair shake and kind of read into it. When I read around what a democratic socialist is, though, and some of those things, like I think there's a lot of well-intentioned things, and I think a lot of people also don't understand unintended consequences. So, for instance, I'm a homeowner here. Let's say I want to buy another crib and I want to rent it out, and I got tenants. Is he being very specific that freeze is only for corporate, landowners, like big companies that have private equity type stuff? Or is it David has a second home, or David has, an ensuite and he has a tenant? Like what you know what I'm saying? Like there are some details, there's some follow-up questions that I have to ask just to not be super ignorant to it, man. But I don't know, man. I'm still forming an opinion. I'm not gonna say that the political science nerd in me isn't curious to see how that plays out. And that same political science nerd is a little afraid of, like, when you start to introduce these elements into a democratic like ecosystem, like things are gonna happen. Like this is a chemistry experiment. You about to mix some chemicals together, and
gosh,
it's gonna be very interesting, man. And
in 2025 with everything else that's going on,
that's what I'm saying. Like it's just such a, and when you look at that, was he born here? Is he American born?
I think he was born overseas.
Only reason I was asking, because then the issue of very charismatic leader getting some under his belt. I don't know how many mayors ascend to presidency, but again, it's. I was just curious. I just don't know enough about the man. But
he was born in Kampala, Uganda.
Okay, so he can't run for president. Okay, yep. but it's an interesting. I think had he been born here on top of all this, I think it would have added an additional layer. And I'm not being, I'm just, the reason why I'm asking that for the general public is because if he was born here, he would be eligible to run for president, and I could just see a play being made.
Yeah, for sure.
With the level of discord we have in the country right now, it's just interesting. I don't have strong thoughts about it just yet, but I'm listening.
If you think about like how Trump has taken and MAGA has taken the Republican Party further to the right. Now we have, Mamdani coming in. If he's elected mayor of New York City, like he's instantly not just mayor of New York City, but he's a
Right.
national player, right?
Absolutely.
Whether he can run for president or not, he is a player. He's like in the sandbox now. And maybe that's what the Democrats need to like kind of wake up and get off of the fence is you know, a little bit of competition or a tug from, you know, the
Yeah,
just
definitely the
just to
party.
say like what needs to be said. So let me go down some of his platform ideas.
Yeah, educate me. I'm interested.
Yeah. And again, this is like what is stated on his website. So regarding housing, he's calling for a rent freeze, a new social housing development authority. The New York City Housing Development Authority is like the biggest organization like that in the world, right? And it's a total mess. So he's calling for a new authority to be created, kind of with the word social, meaning like it's you know, it's social. It's like for the people. They're really trying to create some public good around access to affordable housing. They're also calling for tougher, and he would also call for tougher enforcement against bad landlords.
Mhm.
Thoughts?
I mean, that sounds
Is that
good.
controversial?
That sounds good. It's not controversial yet till you start asking some additional questions. What does that mean? Like, what's a bad landlord? Like, what is that? What?
Mhm.
All these things require questions.
Okay. Yeah.
But so far, okay, got you. And then I know
Okay.
there's other policies. I know we're gonna have a
Transit.
lot. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And we'll do education last. Transit. He's calling for buses, everything above ground, free. For the subway, he's actually not calling for free subway transportation, but he's calling for stronger funding of New York City's subway system.
Okay.
Which you've been to New York. It's massive. It's huge.
Huge.
I mean, controversial. I mean, you know, rich people don't take the bus anyways. You know, they take the subway. But you know, I think if you look at the condition of New York City's subway system, it's last time I was there, I was like, oh man, this is.
And Oakland has that hybrid thing where you're still paying for the bus, but there's like a few runner buses like that take you up and down, uptown, downtown for free, you know, things like that. But it ain't the whole system.
Childcare.
Okay.
No cost childcare from 6 weeks old, right? Expanded school funding. We'll come back to this one. And so he's calling for more funding for education. But let me put a pin in that one, and we'll come back to it because we're going to talk about school choice. So regarding funding and taxation, higher taxation for the wealthy, higher taxation for corporations.
How much higher?
I don't know. It's just that's the bold print. And then you know, also looking to address cost burdens for immigrant populations, Muslim, African American, brown, Latino communities that he claims have been left behind in the city's like political kind of, you know, system.
Okay.
So definitely like an equity lens, right? Which is, I mean, you don't really hear that from, I mean, I guess you hear it from maybe the mayor of Chicago. I don't know how things are going out there.
It's not going very well. But
I just heard, we could talk about Chicago, right? They got, it's a National Guard there now?
I mean, yeah, somewhat. I mean, they are definitely here. You know, I don't know if it's been as super publicized or crazy as it's been in other places. You see some clips here and there, but for the most part, they're doing their roundups or trying to. It's a little more difficult, they've seen. And Brandon Johnson, some might argue, he's on his way to some Mandami isms. So it's interesting, but
So on the education front,
I want to hear this.
He's calling for expanded school funding, but you know, long story short, he does not support privatization. He does not support charter schools, right? So we've seen what's the big network out there? Success Academy, Success Charters. They held a big, like, they basically, I think, shut down their schools for a day and held a big rally. I don't know if they were supporting for a particular candidate, But they were definitely like calling out the fact that this guy is like not pro charter, and like if he gets elected, it's going to put, charter schools in New York City and new charter schools at risk of opening, right? Because he's definitely like writing that line of like, public schooling, district
Yeah.
schooling. And so, during our time in Oak, so that's not a surprise, but going back to our time in Oakland, I was thinking about this. Whether it was around charter schools, whether it was around the closing of a district school because the school district had lost tens of thousands of kids and they didn't need to have the big footprint anymore. Still a challenge in Oakland.
Yeah.
And then when the school closures came, and I was part of several parent groups that were like advocating for them to open the schools,
Mhm.
and every time when people came at us, whether it was around school reopening or the charter issue, it was always the most radical faction or wing within the union. And
Yeah.
that was the Democratic Socialist component. And they were crazy, man.
Oh, I remember.
These are the people that would like attack us, harass us on social media and in real life. And they were like borderline, they're like terrorists,
Oh, they knew who to deal with though. They went to John's house.
Yeah.
I used to pray. David, I used to pray that I would see one of them. I used to pray that these people would come with that energy to me in person. I was so ready to catch a case. I would have punched one of these people because they are out of pocket. They so out of pocket. Yeah, I remember these people.
I mean, and that's the party. That's the Oakland chapter of the party. I'm sure the Chicago chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America is also pretty radical.
Absolutely.
And as is New York City's. So it's very interesting that that New York is heading into this election with this front runner. He's not a communist, but if you actually look at the historical practices of DSA, it's pretty extreme.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, you can be extreme and do these things when you're small and fringe and don't have any real power. When you win and you actually have to govern, I mean, we've seen this over and over with school board members, right? You get somebody that runs on this very, very like firm school board platform, and then they get in there and then they get access to data. They get access to information. And then they're like, oh, we probably do need to close that school. We probably are about to fall off the cliff. Oh, we can't just keep getting an infusion of cash here because we have a systemic deficit like that. We have to, it's not going to go away. Like, these, we're going to just keep eating this money and nothing's going to change. It's different when you get the gun. So, and that's going to be this is going to be one of the, honestly, man, in our history, in American history, this is going to rank up there as far as like social political experiments. If you have control over the most powerful city in the country, one of the most powerful cities in the world.
Yep.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't have super strong thoughts. I'm just really curious, right? Because I don't agree with him on the schools thing. And Bill says something to the effect of maybe he just wants to hold these charters accountable. Stop. I'm not trying to shut anybody down, Bill. I want you to keep talking, right? But I'm going to just say it never plays out that way. It's just, accountability for thee, not for me, every single time. We have closed charters in Oakland that were doing really good and scrutinized them. And the school down the street has been failing kids at a worse rate for 80 years. And you give them more money. The school down the street hosts 1,500 kids and they got 300 in it. But let's give them more money. I've seen it. So it's a political play, and charters represent something that they represent privatization to them. And a part of that, it's like there's a thin line between philosophy and dogma. There's a thin line, and it's turned into dogma for people. So I don't know, bro.
So let's dig in a little bit more into his. So there are about 1 million students in public schools in New York City. 1 million. Okay. About 15% attend charter. So you got a charter enrollment at about 150,000 kids. That's
That's a
massive.
significant amount of
That's
kids.
massive. And enrollment's growing, right? Um, so getting more specific, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. He's expressed opposition to expanding charter schools. We know that in New York City. He's also signaled hostility towards co-location. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're a Success Charter, or if you're, I mean, what other charter networks they have out there? They have got a bunch. Um, you know, sometimes charter schools will operate within and share a campus with the public school if there's like 20 classrooms that are empty, right? That's called a co-location. But it sounds like he wants to kind of roll back on that. I don't know what they're going to do with all that empty space. Imagine trying to find another school facility in New York City area. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Currently in New York City, they have this like strong mayor kind of situation where the mayor actually has significant control over the public school system, unlike somewhere like in LA or Oakland, where you have like more of a weak system. Chicago and New York City have a much stronger mayor setup. And so he's actually looking at like rolling that back, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then, yeah, I mean, what I don't see in his plan is, you know, if you're not going to allow for charter expansion, and if you're going to try and roll back some of the co-locations, like what's your plan to improve education for you know, students that attend New York City public schools?
Well, I don't. They never have to deal with that, right? Like they get to. There's always just the top coat that they talk about, right? The privatization in that. Trust the public school system. The public school system just needs better funding. I think you can give them millions, and you can give them 100% more, and I still think you're gonna have these inequities, because I think the standards are just very low of what people think about the kids that tend to be in those type of schools. I just don't think that is high at all. And so I think with this, man, like I said, I think Mamdani is an super interesting political figure. I think he will be studied moving forward, right? Because he has a very socialist populist like that are coming out for him and is growing, and he's taking down some big dogs. Like Mayor Adams is not a small guy. Like the former governor of New York is not a small guy. And he also has the benefit of running right now in the midst of all this Trump chaos. Like he's such a strong opposition to Trump that is just going to magnify. And where Trump is brute and you know, seems uncouth and not very worldly, like Mamdani comes off as very intelligent, and thoughtful, and charismatic. And I don't know when the rubber meets the road how these things will go, but I'll tell you this from the charter side of things. What happens is you need to count your days if you're a charter school there. Now, I don't know if he just come in and just shut things down, but this is the thing. You don't have to do that in charter world. If he's there long enough, charters come up for renewal so often, and you just do what they do. You just don't renew. They do it in Oakland all the time. You just don't renew. Don't care how well you're doing. Just don't renew. And that's going to really displace a lot of people. So we're probably going to be in a minority of this because, one, we are left-leaning people, but we are, you know, and charters tend to get looked at a certain type of way. So we're like a small minority in a larger group of these things. But we both have intimate knowledge of how these things tend to play out. What I will say though is there are going to be some protection. There are going to have to be some protections in place. He's not the ruler of New York. He's not going to be the emperor of New York. There's still some rules there. It'll be really interesting. And we haven't even broached how the federal government or how Trump's administration, if he does get in, how they're going to attack that, right? That's a whole thing we haven't even.
So let's go there. Let's go there. So you're the mayor of New York City, right? You've got the UN, you've got you know, so many other like kind of international hub of politics, of culture. of finance, and international leaders are in and out of New York, like frequently. So, what did he say about? Let's not talk about Trump, but we will talk about Trump.
Right.
There are 2 active warrants that were put out by the ICC, the International Criminal Court, against Netanyahu and Vladimir Putin.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
And so he said that, based on that, he would have New York City authorities arrest Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He's also said the same thing about Russian President Vladimir Putin. So, talk about, how this is not the mayor of like Dayton, Ohio, right? This is like serious stuff. Now we're pushing into like global politics. Trump is not currently, does not have a current warrant out by the International Criminal Court, but Trump's headquarters, is New York City. That's just that's the first Trump Tower, and the whole Trump organization operates out of New York City. And so, let's talk about it. Like, what does that look like? You have the mayor. I mean, what kinds of things, how do you think Trump would like clap back at Mamdani? In what ways would he do that?
Well, it looks like a clusterfuck is what it looks like.
It's like a crash. It's like, it's coming.
Yeah, it is the young people say crash out mission. This is about that. There will be crash out missions on this one. I think he absolutely would probably go after Trump's thing. I mean, I know Trump sold I think he sold all of his Trump Tower stuff. I think it still has his namesake, but I think he sold them a while ago. But I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a head-on collision between those two. I think, and I think both of them want it. I think both of them will want to show, that they have no problem standing up to the other. I think that Mamdani is trying to also spread and get more socialist Democrats throughout the country. Some of them that are born in the United States. I think he's trying to show he's like the first through the door on this, right? If he gets in, it's like, let me dispel the fear that you might have of this thing. Let me do it let me do it in a way that kind of can ingratiate. I don't know if that next wave of them is going to be in that same way, because some of these things are in direct conflict. I don't know though, man. I think Trump is going to challenge them in a lot of different ways. I think the general public doesn't know a lot about separation of powers. They don't know a lot about states' rights versus Fed rights, and now this is actually an even deeper layer because it's Fed, states, and now city. And like, I also need to know what role the governor is going to play. Like their governor, what we do share in Chicago area with New York is that our mayors tend to be far more popular than our governors here. Because the city is such a outside of Chicago, it's a lot of farmland, dog. It's some universities and farmland, but
outside of New York City too, right?
Exactly, and this is what I'm saying, right? So I don't even know who the governor of New York is you know what I'm saying? Like I have to only reason people know JB is because he's a billionaire and he's a Democratic billionaire, and he's somewhat powerful throwing his money around to kind of take around Trump, right? And like trying to get in Gavin's team a little bit to kind of, do this thing with Trump. So, Chicago and California are pretty connected right now. But I really don't know how this is going to play out, bro. I wish we did have the guys here. I would love an Omar rant right now because I know he probably has some really strong feelings. But again, I'm both excited and cautious because I'm like, I've never seen this chemical connection before. I'm a kid in a science lab that's about to, and we're standing back and it's like, hey, put your goggles on. We're going to do this A with B. Also, man, y'all kids from the 70s, y'all got all the cool toys. It was toxic and everything. We didn't get to have the chemistry sets that they used to just let y'all have chemistry sets with kids. Like
no goggles.
With shit that could probably kill you if you mixed the wrong shit, and y'all just had it. Like y'all had the original easy bake ovens and shit like that kids was burning their hands off with. Anyway, the 70s were pretty cool. But I really I wish I had more answers for you, David. I'm really just curious.
Yeah. So let me pose another a question to you now that I'm thinking about this. So what do you think if he's successful and he becomes the mayor of New York City? Like we said before, he instantly becomes a national player and an international player. He's running as a Democrat, but we know that his roots and his support are much further to the left than the regular like Democratic platform.
They're not Democrats. They should not be able to do that.
So what do you think he if he's elected, do you think does he move how does he impact the Democratic Party? Does he divide the Democratic Party into like the more like, kind of socialist leaning lefters, and then you still have centrist Democrats, or does he pull the entire party further to the left?
I think it's a bit of both. I think that there will be some separation. I think both parties need to kind of hit the reset button. I think Republicans you've been hearing like we're at the point where Mitt Romney's almost pushed out of his party, which is crazy. Like it's like wait, that's wild. Mitt Romney, like y'all, that guy is not y'all are crazy. And I think that also, everybody's not a Democrat. And I think that like I think old school Democrats, more centrist level type Democrats probably are gonna get to a point where they're gonna have their Republican moment too, and just kind of be like, okay, yeah, this is. We can have some new kind of big tent thing, but this is not, you don't get to run as a Democrat. I just don't know how that worked. I don't know how that is just, it's a lot. And I mean, people have been manipulating parties for a while. I mean, we just, we've just talked about a few that have done that, but I think, I do think they're going to try to drag the entire party over. And I think AOC is, and Bernie people, like they got some real steam now. These are not really joke candidates or joke people. These actually are people that have some power. And to be honest with you, I don't know if these are the same type of democratic socialists that Bernie Sanders is. I think even within that group, I think things might start to shift and change a little bit. So I don't know. But I also think people have long memories. I think Bernie Sanders has let it come through and crack a little bit of some of these meetings, right? Where some of these podcast views, like he's still a little upset with how he got cheated and pushed out.
Tell me about it.
Primaries.
Yeah,
and he's more and more.
He stays mad.
But I think he tried to be a good soldier for a little bit. But I think now that things have kind of gone so crazy, I've seen him on podcasts kind of being like, "No, I was pushed out, like I was cheated." Like that's a big thing to like say. Like you don't just So it's really interesting, man. There's about to be a shift, and I think that there's going to be a new. Listen, this happened in the 60s around blacks and Republicans and Democrat, a lot around when Martin Luther King got jailed, and the Republicans that his dad trusted and loved did not answer that call, but them damn Kennedys did, and Bobby Kennedy like got him out of jail. Like they took a lot of party flipped. And so I think that you're gonna start to see something, or maybe we'll finally get the emergence of multiple parties. Maybe, I don't know, man. I don't know if we'll ever see that in our lifetime where there are other parties nationwide that is not just the two-party system. But it feels like those days are limited, but I don't know, man. Maybe they're numbered, maybe they're not, bro. This is out of all the episodes we've ever done, David, this is the one where I'm the most and just like, I don't know. I don't know.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, it could go any way, and I think you throw in thinking about what is it, 2020? When's the next presidential election? 2028, right?
Yeah.
You have the midterms coming up.
You got midterm. I was gonna say you got midterms.
Midterms come up. That's gonna shift. That's gonna shift the landscape. We'll see. And then you have another presidential election, and you've got this like California guy, Gavin Newsom, on the rise, right? Like, can he sustain that momentum? Can he, stay up in front in the conversation? And like, what I'm just thinking about the interplay between the two of them. I don't think I've heard Gavin Newsom talk about Mamdani. I'm sure he has, but I would be very curious to see, like, how he could, because his platform, it seems like things are generally like universal, like, okay, those are good things.
Yeah.
Outside of the
usually
education
are.
issue, like we can, this is like one place where you can say, like, okay, clearly, like if I was running a charter network in New York City, like this is bad, right?
Yeah, it's terrible.
However, you have to also step back and look at the bigger picture, and that can be hard for people. So this might be a good opportunity for change to the system, to either, like I said, either create multiple parties or to pull the Democratic Party to be more authentically like democratic and for the people, right? And less kind of like middle of the road, which has gotten us nowhere. And so, yeah, I guess it'll be a big test, but I'm curious to see like maybe I'll have to track down to see if what Gavin Newsom has said about Mamdani and, go from there. But he definitely, let me pull this up for you real quick. He's a very charismatic guy.
He is. And listen, and as you pull that up, listen, maybe it'll be great. Far be it from me. I have no leaning on it. I'm just curious. I'm truly just watching it with popcorn. I want to know what's going to happen with crime. I want to know what's going to happen with current jail policies. And, if they about to just let a lot of people out and how people are going to feel about that. Because there was some shit we tried in California and it was terrible. Like that whole, this is not a felony to whatever. And then people just was walking in Walgreens grabbing shit. And even the most leftist of people were like, okay, this is, what are we doing? What's happening right
now? Let me see if I can find this. Hold on. I can't find it on YouTube anymore. He's got a rap video out there. Did you see this?
No, I don't. I don't even think I want to, but go ahead. I just
said it's actually, I don't know if I can find it. It's like not
you can't if Mamdani has a rap video somewhere, that should be easy to, if you put in Mamdani rap, let me see. I'll see if I can find it.
I think they took it down.
Oh, did they?
I don't know.
Was it him? Was it some
No, it's him, man. It's a whole video. Yeah. Let's see.
Before his rap career before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I found it on TikTok.
Can you play it?
Yes, I got you.
Let's watch this.
I hope it's him though. Like I just did this quickly, people. If it's not him in a parody, just I'm not trying to, I'm just letting y'all know. Let me pull it up. Share screen. Let's see. Share the tab. Let's see. I don't think this is him. Is this him?
That's him. Yeah.
Oh, this is a real thing.
All right, we need audio.
Give a dab to your nanny. Go ahead, make a rap for your nanny. It's a rap. Get the glass, spin the rack on your nanny. Spin the rack. Come through, give a dab to your nanny. If you really feeling good, spin a track for your nanny. Go ahead, make a rap for your nanny. It's a rap. Get the glass, spin the rack on your nanny. Spin the rack. Come through, give a dab to your nanny. If you really feeling good, spin a track
y'all are
for your
wild. That's wild.
That's an excerpt. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's wild.
There's a full version out there. I think they scrubbed it. But anyhow.
Hold on. Oh, let me close that. But more stuff was playing. Yeah, that's wild.
So yeah, I mean, when I think about like young people and communities in New York City that we tend to kind of focus on in our show.
Mm-hmm.
If he's elected and if he can really, universal childcare would be
that would be great,
incredible.
That would be incredible. That would be.
If you're a rent freeze would be huge. I don't know how it works in New York, but I'm thinking they probably have some version of rent control, but or maybe not. But I know when I lived in San Francisco, they could only raise your rent by like 5% a year.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I
And-
kept my apartment in Oakland for so long, and they were just
Yeah.
so happy for me to go because they couldn't raise it.
Yeah,
they,
and once you
they let
leave,
me-
they can do whatever they want, right?
they let me break lease. They were so happy to let me break lease. It makes no
Yeah.
sense. It
Mhm.
makes. Hey, what's up, Eric Williams and Bill Conrad? Just making sure I say hey to the people that's here. Anybody else, make sure you drop us a line so we can shout you out as we keep this going. It's really interesting though, David. I mean, I'm really interested to see how this goes. I am. I'm watching. I think there are some things to be excited about. I think there are some things, rightfully so, to be a little fearful of. And I think that some of these controls inside of our democracy, I do think some of them will catch. But we'll see, man, because the democracy of this country has been pressure tested in the last, few years in ways that it hasn't been in a while. So I'm truly interested, man. Like I said, I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching with bated breath, just like you, bro. Just like, oh, let's.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some bets we can make. Some, I don't know, one of those apps and just kind of bet what's going and see how that goes.
Right. You can bet on anything now, right? I'm sure. Yeah, and I think I think it's coming at the right time where something has to change with politics on the Democrat side.
It has to.
And we need new leadership. We need people to be like unapologetic about like saying that we're going to stand up for working class people, for low income people, for communities of color, for marginalized communities, right? And like stick to it, lead with that. It'll be interesting because I think right now what a lot of people are seeing, we talked about it a little earlier, I mean, have your groceries gotten any cheaper? Mine haven't, and I'm like, we're almost a year into this administration, and it's like, it's crazy. And it seems like it's just going to continue to, the price.
Bro, I just want to paint two
goods.
things.
I mean, your roof. Roof. I mean,
all these materials are dumb expensive, bro. Like
everything's going up because materials are going up, labor is going up.
I mean, 2x4s have gone up, bro. First off, I didn't know how important 2x4s were everything is 2x4s. So they're doing the roof and they're like, oh, we had to go get extra slabs of 2x4 because some of the wood was rotted. But it's just gonna cost another blah blah blah. I was like, it's gonna cost how much? Like, what? Oh my god!
The price of a 2x4 is like the price of a barrel of oil. They're like they're indicators, right? And
David,
they both seem to be going up right now.
And I'm about to racialize this because I wish I knew, David. I wish I hung out more. I don't want to find gold or diamonds. Just find me an endless warehouse of 2x4s, bro. 2x4s. They got people. I didn't know people sold crooked 2x4s. I didn't know that there were people. Do you understand? Like, I did not know the market for 2x4s was just crazy, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
None at all.
Who else is was it Andrew Cuomo, right?
Yep. I think he's about 20 points behind, dog.
He's running as an independent in this
he's running as independent. Which
and
is
there's a Republican
crazy.
candidate. Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like it's like he's as an independent. The Democratic Socialist is a Democrat. Eric Adams is running as an independent. Like, it's a lot.
Man.
It's cluster fuck city, bro.
So he's got the sexual harassment stuff that's following him around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cuomo. Okay. Yep. Former governor. Yep. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
I mean, somewhat political royalty or, political family with Mario, his dad, who has, people tend to think of him in really high favor. Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's really interesting. Here's the other thing, though. I still believe politicians are politicians, and I still think campaigning and governing are two different things. And so, and I've just seen this time and time again. I've seen a lot of well-intentioned people get in, and then they try to do stuff, and then it's like, it's different, and it's different. And sometimes you get more information, you get access to more data than what you had before, and it's different. So we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. Listen, I don't even have a final thought. I'll just ring it in right here. You can just close it out however you want. Is Mamdani going to be a shot in the arm for Democrats or a shot through the heart for Democrats? I have no clue. I have no clue, but I do hope. I want to see everybody do well. So if he does win, pray that he does well, and I hope that he does well for the people of that city and the people that need it the most. But when you shake with power like this, the way that he's talking about, just very overtly, it's interesting.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's interesting because it's definitely what we call, like, it would be a disruption, and disruption can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing,
right?
But it always leads to some kind of change.
Always a thing.
Yeah, exactly. So adding an element of democratic socialism into the mix, I think, again, like, we probably, at least I don't think I'd ever, even like the Democratic Party's view on like education and charter schools, definitely like the far left's viewpoint, like, I totally disagree with, and that's okay. But I think at the broader level, when you're talking about humanizing access to transit, to housing, to childcare, I mean, those are like real universal goods, which should be public and free for everybody, for the most part, or heavily subsidized. So, I think Bill said it earlier. He, not just Mamdani, but also like Bernie and AOC. They speak to people's authentic needs, right? And so then the follow up is like, can you deliver? Can you deliver? And so I have a lot of questions too. It'll be interesting to see, how this impacts the Democratic Party. I think there's this whole Trump element to it, but Trump has taken the Republican Party on such a wild ride. We definitely need like a return to civility. I like the way he talks. I think he's got a strong background, Mamdani. And I mean, what do you got to lose at this point, right?
Well, we gonna see. I think it's the people in New York that be like, I got a hell of a lot to lose, especially if you about to text me crazy. But we gonna see, man. I'm interested to see how it goes. Like I said, I'm not a super far left person personally. I see Bill definitely is. Me and Bill don't want to live in the same place. I do not want to live in a place that the way Bill wants it. And I get it. I understand. I'm not a right wing guy. I don't like any of that stuff. I'm a left of center Democrat. I know who I am at this point in my life. Leave me alone. Let me know where my taxes are going. Let me have some.
You are part of the problem. All right.
Hey, that's cool. Let me choose the type of schools my kids go to. I'm not the wool is not over my eyes about public education. I am not a zealot to it. I think it's terrible. I think it's designed to be terrible. And I think it will continue to be terrible. So it is.
Oh, there you go. This is interesting. Yeah, that's right. I'm hearing this. I mean, they're going to have to eventually, now that Adams is out of the race. We'll have to follow up and see. Man.
I don't know if they do. I don't. And this is the thing.
They run this like crazy calculus, right? They're like, well, if we do endorse, what are the implications here? Like, what are the risks that we run, right? If we don't endorse, or if we endorse somebody else, that's all the political, like, it's actually quite interesting to like to see how those decisions are made. They're not made by the candidates. I'll tell you, they're by the politicians. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be interesting, bro. It's gonna be interesting, bro.
Well, that's it. We're at time. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Kind of a freestyle discussion here on, politics, both what's coming to New York City, but also both the national and international impact. So what do we got? November 4th. We will be watching. Yeah.
We're going to see. Well, man, in the meantime, y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. For Jubilee, Omar, and that's David. I am Charles Cole, and we will see you all next week. Same bat time, same bat station. Peace.
Peace.